What is up, my witches? Right? Ha. How are y'all doing today? I hope you are having a fantastic afternoon and everybody enjoyed the celestial alignment that occurred yesterday. If you participated in that in any capacity, very cool, and I hope that it was magical and all of the good energies of the celestial heavens you channel down right into your body, and it brought you fantastic dreams, it brings you insight, it gives you awakening, it attaches new energy to what it is you are getting up to. So, my friends, I forgot to grab mortar and pestle. Files down. Okay, so as we get to conjuring today, what is it we are going to do, my friends? We are going to be doing lots of fun things. There we go. Get out all the little vials and everything. Get the incense going. Get the lights going. You know. And we invite the spirit, right? We take the moment to consider what it is we're about to do. In this case, today's blend is going to be made of eucalyptus, mullein, and black walnut. Now, mullein is an interesting herb. It's been used to replicate graveyard dirt. So if you don't go to the graveyard, if you don't connect to the spirits there, this has been used as a proxy by which you can call the spirits out, right? Now, eucalyptus is a fun one because, like many herbs, it provides a cooling, but it also gives a fiery element to it. You can invite new energies when you use this one. And the thing with black walnut is that it's a protective, right? You shouldn't sleep beneath a black walnut tree because you might not wake up. It releases a poison into the earth that kills anything that's not that plant. So it protects what is not of itself. So it's a great wood to use when you need to condition an area. Like when I made the brass urn for one of my friends, clients or student for years now, I made a box of black walnut to prevent any outside energies from affecting what was inside the urn. So basically it's the timeout box. So when it needs to be divided from the world and it was being a mouthy piece of shit, into the box it went and removed from the world. So now the thing about mullein is that it is a safeguard against evil, right? So this combined with the black walnut creates a barrier against which those that would do nasty magic to you, send nasty spirits, or otherwise cause you problems in the work would prevent that from entry, right? And so the thing about eucalyptus is that it's healing and protective, right? I had an opportunity the other day to collect a giant branch from a piece of eucalyptus tree that they've been cutting down around my apartment. That would have been a badass stang. I didn't have the wherewithal to tell the guy not to throw it out, so I missed out on that opportunity. So I'm very sad that I lost that. But I'm sure nature will provide another for when the time comes. It'll provide the right means of interacting with that. So we're going to start with the eucalyptus for protection, right? Again, you want to mind your allergies with these things. Eucalyptus for California is almost an invasive species. Like, it came over and it took over, right? And then we'll use the mullein. It's going to be the spirits of the dead. It's going to be the spirits of the ancestors. It's going to be for those things which are for the connection and the power to be brought forth in order to prevent entry, to prevent negative associations or effect. That's a lot. So the goal with this stuff is going to be as a barrier powder, right? Like you can put this as a mixture around your ritual circle. You can mix it into talismans for creating the ink base against which you're, if you need to protect your house, right? Like you write out the talismans and you can hide them in little jars or in little effects, and you put them around your house in the windowsills, at every window opening or at every door opening above the hinges and stuff. So that way that you can actually get the protection that you need. You can actually even write it on the inside of the door frame, right? So when the door closes, the door itself is magic, right? Like, I was living with a guy, and we had 5 roommates in the apartment at the time. This was down there in Knoxville, and it was no magic in the common area was the rule, and it's like, no, I slept in the common area, so like I had like one little chunk of all the stuff where all my shit fit. Excuse me, it was eucalyptus. So with that, the whole space moved about 10 minutes slow from the rest of the world. So he tried to put a barrier sigil made out of blood and a few other things as a white paint on the door in order to prevent the effect of what was going on in the apartment outside the apartment. Now, that was some funny shit, because it didn't work all that well. But sorry, Dustin, your stuff back then did just not work well. But yeah, it's like the things that we do with these ingredients, the things that we do for these ingredients, right? It's like, what is the connection to the earth going to be? What is the connection to these trees going to be? What is the connection to this ingredient blend going to be when you start working with it, right? So, like for the things that I've been up to when it comes to the other 22 blends now, because yesterday was 22, today is 23, I've been adding denatured alcohol into it. So you got to be careful if you use that stuff, because it makes it crazy flammable. But it reinvigorates a spirit into the herbs, quite literally, because denatured alcohol is a spirit, right? It is a liquid spirit like Everclear. And so as you add that back into the ingredients, you can then extract just a couple of drops, add them to other inks that have been made ritually and things like that, and you can compound the effect without getting it muddled, without getting it muddy, so that every spirit of the spell acts as one. And then you do an animation. You bring forth a new spirit out of the collection that you've created. And so by doing that, you create a compound effect from the living things that were, the ingredients that are, and the effect that will be. So that you create the union between energy flow from the past into the present and into the future as far as your effect goes, right? Like, that's what it's supposed to do. And that's the effect of alchemy when you apply it to folklore and tradition, right? Like, this is how you can do some practical alchemy with your plants and your ingredients in order to be able to make ritual inks or paints, or, you're making a piece of art and you want to add an extra element to it. That's a means by which you can do it, is if you use the ingredients, or you use the stones like they used to do, and you cultivate the relationship so that the piece of art, it's not just plastic on paper, it is the pigments that are made of stone, that are made of animal parts, plants, whatever it is, in order to be able to connect you to those forces. And so by doing that, it gives you a different degree of application when it comes to your magic. It gives you different ways to think about and different ways to cultivate that relationship with those things. And so I hope that you are having a lot of fun with the Spell a Day challenge. I absolutely love doing them. And the ingredients and stuff I'm getting up for sale, so you can go to spelladaychallenge.com. And every Sunday at 12 noon Pacific, we're going to do a live Zoom community room where you can, we'll be recording it. We'll be talking about the spells that we made for the week and the application of the ones from the weeks before, because that was a really big hit yesterday. Like, that's something that I want to do and engage more in the community with, is like the paranormal investigators that I was talking to. He's got a YouTube channel. He's got a Coven community. He does publications. Like, he's going to be a lot of fun to bring in with, like, his whole crew. Like, this is going to be really fun. He's bringing his family. It's going to be a really fun event. Like, so it's growing. Like, this little Spell a Day challenge, I hope, will be a national witch event. Like, I want everybody to be able to do some spell a day and create spells from these ingredients that are to create means by which we can use as a community grimoire, a modern day witchcraft application to folklore, to the connections to the earth that we can use, and it's not the bullshit, and it's not the gatekeeping, and it's not the crap rhetoric of other traditions, right? It's like, this stuff is open source. Like, this stuff is made for community interaction. This stuff is not done to hide behind a tradition or hide behind an oath or anything like that. Like, I'm making this stuff to be used for the community, to be used for community purposes. The money that's going to be raised from sales of this stuff is to be able to get brick and mortar events going, so that way we can go in and we can build out magic shops where people can actually get their herbs, get their mortar and pestles, get their alchemy equipment, take classes, do things, and engage with people that are actually doing this stuff, so that those in the traditions can have a platform on which they can come and visit. They can come to speaking events. They can talk about the traditions, and they can do it in a way that'll actually give elevation to the spirits, right? So that it's not just talking heads behind books or your local covens that are, you know, trying to run around and gatekeep and prevent anybody from interacting with the holy sites that are around, you know, in whatever city that they're in. So it's my sincere hope that what we get up to creates a movement, because what we can do is so much more than what's being done. Like, with all the stuff that religions are hating on each other, we should be coming together even more. You know, it's like, we are the ones that get kicked out of other events. We're the ones that get put out by friends, family, or whatever it is, for whatever reason, because you don't fit the mold, right? And so, by applying these kinds of techniques to protect your space, you know, if you can find walnut shells and grind them down and mix it with a little bit of eucalyptus that you've got, right? You can protect your spaces. You can protect your people when you're out in the world doing witchcraft or doing things, and you need to have a little extra safety, right? Like, if we can make the talismans for people. We can sell them off, you know, in bulk packaging. You know, it's like, we'll make the little jars that you can string onto necklaces and stuff, and put those around town, or make those accessible, you know, not littering, but make it as a public community arts thing. So what we do, how we do it, and we come together for doing this stuff, really can change the way that people approach magic, approach folklore, approach the application of alchemy into the modern era. Because that's something that people are like, oh no, it doesn't exist, or no, it's not real. But if you ask anybody who's experienced the paranormal, anybody who's experienced ghosts, spirits, whatever it is, we have seen it, we have felt it, we have observed it, we have been subjugated by it, and so we are doing what we do as a response to that. So we are trying to elevate people and prepare, so that way the human species isn't the only thing that lives on this planet, isn't the only thing that's alive, right? And for too long, ecosystems have been destroyed, you know? Not having harmony with the natural world has ruined a lot of things. And so it's my hope that what we get up to with this protects not only ourselves, but our community and the communities in which we serve. So, my friends, stay safe today. This concludes week 4, day 2. I hope you have a wonderful afternoon, and may all the blessings of heaven on you. I will chat with you tomorrow, my friends. Stay safe, and remember, don't be evil. Bye for now, y'all.